Hey folks, the mind is something that I've touched on every now and again over the last 100 or so videos on this channel, but I've probably not given it the right amount of relevance, the importance that it deserves, because anything you do, any endeavor you go into in life, the mind, your mindset towards it, your attitude towards it can have a huge impact on the outcome. A lot of people ask me questions along the lines of what should I eat, or what should I put on my skin, how long should I sleep for, and that's great. It's good that you're showing a willingness to make radical changes to your life, but unless you feel it, unless it's coming from within, unless you vibe with what you're doing and you're not just following instructions, you're not really going to get the results. You're not going to become a master of your health, and the onus is on you. The onus has to be on you to really feel after what you're doing, feel your way through it, and it's got to make sense to you on many levels. Maybe you've put into practice every single piece of advice I've given you over the last couple of years on this channel, and that's amazing, but if you've not reached the core belief, the inner conviction of what you're doing, if you don't identify with this, it's become beyond something that you just do, but you now are this person, you are the person that's living this lifestyle. That's where you start to become the master of your own health, is where you become it. You're not just following instructions anymore. Quite often people say to me, but Greg, we're all different. What works for you might not necessarily work for me. And first of all, people that say that are usually looking for an excuse not to take radical action in their life in a way that they probably should. But there is a truth to the saying nonetheless, that there are nuances and just different strands and different blends that might work for you that might not necessarily work for somebody else. And once you've set and you've understood the boundaries of health, the boundaries of what constitutes detoxification, elimination, sustainability, nutrition, and all of these things, you understand what's healthy, then you can go on to make it your own, to vibe with it, and to experiment with the boundaries even of what we're talking about here, so that you can come to a fully fledged understanding on your own. When I'm answering your questions, I always try to say why I think it's a good idea to do something rather than just telling you to do it. Even though I know a lot of you want me to just say what to do, but it's so much better if you have the tools and you get there on your own. Like they say, feed a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. Now, I'm not saying fish is good, but you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes at the beginning of a term of coaching, people are not sure whether this is going to work. And I understand that, because it's in the face of everything that's thrown at us from Western medicine and society in general. This stuff is hugely radical and it's not really talked about very much. It's not very common for people in just regular society to be talking about taking responsibility for your own health and being your own doctor. And, people think you're a bit of a quack if you start talking about techniques that you've maybe come across on the internet or whatever. And so for sure there's skepticism there, but whether or not this will work is up to you. It's in your mind. All we can give you is the tools, the recipes, the ingredients, the techniques, and it's up to you to make sense of them. It's up to you. Decide for yourself. Like I don't really spend too much time convincing people of what I talk about, because on their own, really, that's the place where you can decide for yourself whether or not this makes sense, whether or not this is going to work for you. There's a big difference between somebody who is interested and somebody who's committed. And one of the reasons why I started charging for my time on Skype is because it means I only get to work with the people that are truly committed and the people that want to make a difference. They're ready for some radical change and they're ready to take on a new identity. Many of you have joined the Eczema Healing community on Facebook, and that's great. There's some good discussion going on over there. But expect a bit of tough love too, because I never designed this whole thing as a place, as a support group, as an emotional support group. There is that side of it, but mainly this is a rigorous healing process, a journey. We want people to come in to the community and see the light at the end of the tunnel, know that healing can happen, and then make strides towards that and heal and get results in the long term, get results and go on. Eventually graduate away from this, because you know, once you're healed, once you've got this understanding, you're educated on true health, and you become the master of your own health. You don't need as much support from other people anymore, because you can make sense of it on your own. You can learn to identify more with the person that heals your disease. Identify more with being the person that is disease-free, rather than just identifying with the disease. So just know that my intention was never to lay down the rules and tell you what you should and shouldn't eat. I want to give you the reasons behind why I have decided not to eat certain things and to eat certain things. And I kind of want you to get there on your own. Get a copy of my ebook, The Complete Guide to Healing Eczema, and I go into the reasons why I recommend each and everything, and that will get you on track to begin with. But eventually you won't need that book anymore, because you'll be so far beyond it. You'll be down this healing journey, this healing path, and you'll start to identify with health, a place of health, and you won't be just wrapped up in your place of confusion and disease any longer.